Alright, so today we're going to talk about this Java program called WeirdSort. Um, for a brief description of what this program does is that it's going to take numbers from this file, unsortednumbers.txt, which has the numbers 2 through 7. It's going to take those numbers and sort them and then print them on the screen. Now the thing is about this program is that it doesn't use traditional sorting methods used in Java to sort these numbers, which fits the name of the program, WeirdSort. Okay, so let's start by going line by line for this. So this is just the class name on this line, public class WeirdSort. And then this is going to create a main method within this class, this line. So this is pretty standard, public static void main. Okay, so then we're going to move on to this line, which is the try block. So in Java, what this means is that it's actually going to test this code while it executes it. When it tests it, it's going to check if any errors are found, and if it is, it will catch that error and throw an exception, which I'll explain later on when we get down to that point down here. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next line after assuming nothing was found. Then it's going to execute this body of code defined by the try block. Alright, so this right here is a for each loop. What that does is it iterates through an array and uses a temporary variable to store each element in that array and basically do something with that. So I'll explain more, but that's in short what it does. So first thing is the first part that I'm going to explain about this block of code is how the array is created in the first place. So first thing we do is use this section right here, files.lines. What this is going to do is it's going to take a file that's defined in this parameter, path of unsortednumbers.txt. It's going to find that file. It's going to take that file and then read it line by line. And then take that and make it into a stream of strings. After that is done, this next section is going to happen, map to int, which is going to take that stream of strings and convert that into an integer stream. After the integer stream is made, it's going to take that integer stream, which is this next section of code right here. It's going to take that integer stream and convert it into integers. And then after that is done, it's going to take all of that data and put it into an array, which is this block of code right here, or this method right here, toArray. Alright, so now we can come back to integer current, and it's going to iterate through each line of that array, or each index of that array, and for every iteration, that iteration will be stored as an integer variable called current. Alright, so we'll move on to the next line right here. So what this is doing is it's creating a new thread. A thread is a set of instructions that's executed within a program. I'm sorry. So in order to execute these instructions, you need to use a lambda expression. So what that's going to do is, so for example, within this thread, you have this this line right here, thread.sleep, which is going to temporarily pause the program based off a certain amount of milliseconds, depending on what the parameter is that's inserted right here. But in order to do that, you need to have this lambda expression, because this basically runs a set of instructions that's within this this thread. Okay, so we actually come up to our second try block. So what's going to happen is that's going to test this code as it executes it, and if it again, like with the earlier try block, if it detects an error, it'll throw an exception and then print that exception. I'll get more to that as we get to that line. So we'll focus right here on this. This is thread.sleep. With this, as explained earlier, this is going to temporarily pause the system. I mean the program. And the parameters right here is current times 1000. So in this case, the first value of current, as you can see right here, the first number is number 5. So you would this line would say thread.sleep 5 times 1000. So it'll temporarily halt the program for 5,000 milliseconds, or just 5 seconds if you want to keep it more simplistic and not have big numbers. And then after pausing for 5 seconds or 5,000 milliseconds, it's going to print out the integer current, or in this case 5, plus a space after that, and then insert a new line. And then it's going to do the same for each iteration of the array, using the integer current that is created for each iteration of that array. So it would just to explain. So the first iteration would be thread.sleep 5 times 1000, then system out.println 5 plus a space with a new line. Then the next iteration would be the number 3. So it would do thread.sleep 3 times 1000, then system.out.println 3 plus a space with a new line. And then same thing, it'll do 2 times 1000, 2 plus a new line, and then so forth with all the other numbers as well. Okay, and then this next part is the catching that error, or catching the exception. So if for some reason while trying to execute this code, something interrupts that program, like it's interrupted when it's trying to sleep, it's going to throw an exception, an interrupted exception, and if that does happen, it'll print the stack trace showing the all the errors that happened. So that's that block of code right here. And then right here, this dot start, this is what actually executes the thread that was declared up here. So this starts it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, and then this next block of code right here, this is actually related to the first try block that we saw up here. So since we're doing file IO, right here when we did the files lines path of unsorted numbers.txt, should anything happen where the file's not found, we can't read the file, something like that, it'll throw an input output exception and then print the error message. All right, so that's basically all of the lines. Now I'm gonna run the program so you can see that what happens when it's actually executed, and then I'll explain what's going on right there. All right, so as you can see, it displayed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the numbers are sorted and they're each printed on a new line with a space after it. Okay, so I want to go back to this section right here. So if you notice, when I ran the program, there was a delay after each number, or there was a delay before it started printing the first line, and then it would print each new iteration of the array after a certain amount of seconds. So the number 2 was printed uh, 2 seconds after the program started, because when current is 2, it's going to put the program to sleep for 2 seconds. So it's going to go thread.sleep 2 times 1000 millis, or 2 times 1000. So it'll sleep for 2 seconds and then print out the number 2 with the space after it. And then next thing, right, it'll do thread.sleep 3 times 1000. So it'll put the program, quote unquote, to sleep for 3 seconds, or 3000 milliseconds, then print out the number 3 with a space and new line, and then keep going. 4 times 1000, 4 plus a space, um, and then 5 times 1000, so 5 seconds, and then it'll print out the number 5 after 5 seconds. Then it'll put then after the number 6 will be put out 6 seconds after the program starts. So in short, each number is printed out the number of seconds times its value. So 2 times 1 would make the number 2 print out 2 seconds. 3 will come out 3 seconds after the program starts. 4 will come out 4 seconds after. And then all the way to 7, 7 will come out 7 seconds after the program starts. So if I run the program again, you'll see that this is exactly what happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you see how once the program started, 2 seconds after the number 2 was displayed, 3 seconds after the number 3 was displayed, and then after in total, after 7 seconds passed by, the number 7 was printed out. So 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and then 7 seconds. So yeah, kind of a weird way to sort and print the numbers on the screen, but it's pretty cool too. And that's basically how this program works.